Hey guys, it's Rob, back with another video. Um, Here we're inside the paint booth here in my home, and surprise! um, as everybody knows, this is the Telecaster project that I have been working on religiously for over 3 years now. And like I said, I've made this statement in previous videos that, I'm sure a lot of people are sitting back rolling their eyes saying, why in the world is it taking you over 3 years to do a guitar project? Well, anybody who has followed the channel, we've had a lot going on within this last 3 year period. My wife, she wound up getting injured at work, had to file a workman's comp claim. Eventually, her employer down the line found a way to fire her. So we've been dealing with just going off of one income for like the longest time now. Plus my stepdaughter, she wound up getting into a motorcycle accident 2 years ago. Wound up getting a traumatic brain injury. Had to take some time off work for that to help out with her. My mother-in-law's had medical issues, and my mother right now has been dealing with dementia, so I've been trying to be there for as much as my family as possible. And with my crazy work schedule, working nights and everything, it makes it very, very, very hard to get anything done. So yeah, the last 3 years, trying to get anything done as far as projects goes has been a challenge. We finally did turn a quarter as far as my wife's settlement goes. We don't have the full settlement yet, but my wife did wind up getting some money up front. We had to go through a finance company to get it, because we were having issues there for the longest time making our house payments on time. But I'm not going to bore all you guys with that. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some viewers out there who have experienced similar things, and I'm not going to bore you. So, getting back to this Telecaster project, I took a step back, kind of put this project on hold, because the last time I had this project, it looked like it was completely finished. We had applied the Creates Wicked Colors Pearl Red, and then we had applied the Spray Max 2K Clear. Well, if anybody has seen previous videos, when we got towards the final stage of putting the last coat of clear on, unbeknownst to us at the time, we did not notice that the can was spurting out propellant, and it wound up getting all over the Telecaster body. So one thing led to another, and we put this project on hold, and just within the last week I finally got back to tackling this project again. So the plan was, I already have another can of Spray Max 2K Clear inside my house. I wound up going and buying more Wicked Colors Pearl Red from Hobby Lobby, and the plan was that I was going to go online and order some more Creates Autoborne Sealer Gray. That was the plan. I usually order that from Midwest Airbrush Supply up in Chicago. But when I was in Hobby Lobby the other day, and I was getting ready to grab the Wicked Colors Pearl Red, I turned and I looked, and I seen this product called Vallejo Primer. Now, looking at this, and after spraying the body, it's very, very similar to Creates Autoborne Sealer Gray. Well, and I seen it on the shelf, and I was like, you know, and I read the label. It is a water-based primer. So I made the decision. I said, well, even though I live 60 miles from Chicago, and even though Midwest Airbrush could wind up getting the Autoborne Sealer Gray to me probably within 2 to 3 days, I was thinking, well, I could save myself a little bit of time. You know, why don't we give this stuff at this Vallejo airbrush primer? Why don't we give that a try? And I did a Google search, and I asked, you know, is the Vallejo water-based primer, is it compatible with any of the Createx paints? And Google came back, did a search, and yes, they are compatible. The problem is, when I got the stuff home and I was getting ready to apply the primer, I noticed that the primer was very, very, very thin. I mean, it was like literally darn near almost like water. So I shook it up real good, and then I let it sit for like 10 minutes to let it acclimate a little bit. I loaded up my gun and I started spraying, and I did a tack coat, came back 15 minutes later and went to apply another coat. I applied that coat. Well, I let it sit for 15 minutes, and I came back, and guys, I had nothing but, I had the worst freaking mess on my hands. And I don't think I applied the primer too heavy, but I came back, and there was runs along the edge. There was runs up by the neck pocket and the horn. There was some on the side. Just an awful mess. So I did a Google search, and I asked Google, you know, can water-based primer be sanded? And it came back with yes. And the search said usually if you use a 220 grit sandpaper, you can level the drip out. Well, I went ahead and did that. I was able to level some of the runs out, and I came back today, did all that, cleaned the guitar up, used some glass cleaner. This is actually a water-based glass cleaner, Sprayway. This stuff is amazing. Great stuff for using on a guitar. Plus, it's ammonia-free. Came back and I cleaned the guitar up, wiped it down, came back and hit it with a tack cloth. And what I did, I basically, when I came back today to apply more coats, I just misted the primer on, and the only problem, and I don't know if it's even though I have some lighting in this booth, it's still a little dark in here. I did wind up getting a little run on the back up by the neck pocket where the neck plate would go, and by the horn. But I'm not all that concerned about it. I'll be able to sand it out. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna use the use some K800 by Super Acelix and see if I can gradually sand down that run. I should be able to get it right where I need it. But if I don't get it perfect, I'm not really worried about it. But the rest of the guitar looks pretty even. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna apply one more coat, and then I'm gonna call it. And then I'm gonna let this sit overnight. Come back tomorrow, sand down that run, and then we're gonna go ahead and apply. Like I said, I bought some Creates Wicked Colors Pro Red again, so we'll come back tomorrow and apply the paint. So my honest review of this product, I honestly don't think, because it doesn't specify on the bottle here, I don't really think this stuff was really meant to be sprayed out of, you know, your typical spray gun. That's my low volume, low pressure gun there by California Air Tools. But I mean, I'm sure if you're in a situation where you're just airbrushing model cars, I'm sure that this stuff works fine. But guys, honestly, if you're going to be spraying out of a full-size spray gun, whether it's an LVLP gun or an HVLP gun, I would kind of reconsider. Really, if I could go back and do it, I would have just waited and just got the Autoborne Sealer Gray from Midwest Airbrush. But it's no big deal, you know. We've dealt with problems before with this guitar project, and we just have to do it again. So, like I said, I wouldn't recommend the Vallejo primer to be used out of a full-size gun, but it is what it is, and we're moving forward, and tomorrow we should have the color on. So we're going to go throw on one more coat and call it a day. And just like I said, wanted to do a quick product review on the Vallejo primer. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you all have a blessed day. Take care of yourself and take care of others. Hopefully we won't, be taking so much longer in the future with these videos. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be shooting another video of applying the color again. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.